Safety Commissioner George Napper also started the Red Dogs, which would hit the stash locations with overwhelming force, seizing cash and ledgers, while lookouts were still scrambling to warn sellers. Most street-level dealers were Florida imports who lacked...
And the Red Dog was stealing them boy money. Y'all can't tell me they wasn't putting that money in their pocket, man. I don't give a damn. I would. You would too if you was a Red Dog. You but all that money them boy getting unsolicited street money, y'all ain't gonna take none of it. You lying.
This the Rare Form, baby.
Yo, this is the Rare Reacts, and we back with another React, Jack. Hey, we gotta take a history lesson today. We gotta take a history lesson, man. See, I'm from north of Atlanta, man. And when I was growing up, I always heard about the Miami boys and how the Miami boys came to Atlanta and tried to take over the streets, man, tried to take over the projects. You remember when they was walking around with choppers? This in the 80s. They was walking around in the city with choppers, man. We probably ain't there. We still had revolvers and 32s. They say the Miami boys on the roof with choppers, man, down in all the projects and hoods. So, you know, shout out to Unmixed, man. We finna react to the video. Y'all make sure y'all hit the like, subscribe. We gotta take some history, man. Shit, let's jump right into it, man.
I'm not afraid, because I haven't done anything wrong.
With today's arrests of 4 others, including Steve and Andrew Smith, Alfred Mackey, and Hicks's wife, Janet, DEA agents now believe they've dismantled the Hicks drug kingdom.
Miami boys.
In the neon-lit streets of 1980s Miami, where the pulse of the city pounded with the rhythm of ambition and the scent of danger, 2 names echoed with reverence and fear. Isaac, Big Ike.
Boy, look at how they were putting it on back then, man. Big 30 gold chains. Everybody think this jewelry shit some new shit. They been doing this, man. It just went from gold to diamonds, going back to gold.
Hicks and James Boss Sawyer, their ascent from the shadows of Liberty City to the pinnacle of Miami's underworld was not just a tale of crime, but a saga of strategy, loyalty, and unyielding dominance. Isaac Hicks and James Sawyer emerged from the heart of Miami's Liberty City, a neighborhood marked by its vibrant culture.
Something about them Florida boy, man. James Sawyer right there. Something about them boy down there. They be big hell, man. That's why all they football team go crazy.
And during their formative years, economic hardship. Growing up amidst the challenges of their environment, both men developed a keen understanding of the streets, which later became the foundation of their ascent in Miami's underworld. Hicks, often referred to as Turnpike Ike, began his journey not in crime but in legitimate work. He started as a landscaper, a trade that instilled in him a strong work ethic and an eye for detail. This profession eventually led him to the construction business, where he built homes across Dade County. However, the allure of quick wealth in the burgeoning drug trade of the 1980s proved irresistible. Leveraging his business acumen, Hicks transitioned into the narcotics industry, establishing a cocaine empire that reportedly generated millions monthly.
Man, them boys, listen, man, I'm jealous of them Miami boys. I ain't gonna lie. Back in the 80s, man, that product was flooding the streets so heavy, man. I don't care who you was, man. If you was in Miami around that time and you wasn't getting no money, man, you was on the drugs, gang. Drugs built Miami.
James Boss Sawyer's early life mirrored the struggles of many young men in Liberty City. Sawyer's childhood was shaped by the challenges of his environment. His imposing stature and fearless demeanor made him a natural fit for the role of a bodyguard, a position he assumed. Hicks liked to say that every empire needs 2 architects, one to draw the blueprints and one to guard the door. James Boss Sawyer started out as the man at the door, but by the time the cocaine dust settled, he was drafting blueprints of his own.
Facts.
Sawyer's first job for Hicks was simple: keep bullets and snitches away from the boss's Liberty City stash houses. He earned the nickname Boss Man for the way he barked orders at younger lookouts, running each doorway like a checkpoint on a war zone perimeter. Hicks noticed the discipline and, according to one former associate, told him, "You don't just watch the money, you learn how it moves."
That boy seen something in him. He wasn't hating, wasn't gatekeeping. He said, don't just watch this money. Watch what we doing with this paper too. And you know everybody listening to him, man. That man big head nigga like Shaq.
Within a year, Hicks began parceling out spots for Sawyer to manage on his own. Under Ike's tutelage, Bossman carved out his own lucrative operation. As Hicks expanded, he used Sawyer as a roving field captain. Federal surveillance showed the 2 men shuttling between 3 houses on Northwest 95th Terrace. 91st Street, and 105th Street. Agents clocked up to 300 cars in 3 hours, buying dope at these addresses while Sawyer kept the ledgers and the guns.
Ooh, yeah, that bit running like McDonald's. 300 cars, 3 hours. Oh, man. A well-oiled machine. It's like the Amazon warehouse, but in the street, though.
The promotion taught him logistics, stash rotation, coded bookkeeping, rapid resupply, which later became the operating manual for the Miami Boys outside Florida. Together, Hicks and Sawyer orchestrated the formation of the Miami Boys, a structured and disciplined organization that extended its reach beyond Miami. In the humid streets under the dim hum of street lamps, the rules were simple: eat or be eaten.
Facts.
Liberty City had long been known for its poverty, violence, and hunger. But that hunger birthed hustlers. And on those corners, Isaac Big Ike Hicks and his right hand, James Boss Sawyer, emerged like kings being made in the mud. We were just some young hustlers trying to make the rent, a former associate remembered years later. But trying quickly turned into dominating. Big Ike was a thinker. Not flashy, not loud. He moved like a chess master.
What you mean he ain't flashy and loud, man? That man got that shit on. And he got a full perm. Like, that big mustache they had back in the day, man, I feel like if you had that big mustache back in the day, you was him. Like, you was that nigga, man.
His early years as a landscaper and home builder gave him his business sense and discipline. James Sawyer. Sawyer was the teeth. A tall, imposing man with heavy hands and a quick temper. If Big Ike was the CEO, Sawyer was the sergeant-at-arms. One dealer recounted, "Nobody crossed Boss twice. If you did, you wasn't around to do it again." Big Ike and Boss Sawyer looked at how disorganized local cliques were. Neighborhood kids hustling without connections, blowing profits on cars and gold.
Fact.
There were no rules, no structure, no hierarchy, and Ike hated that. These boys wild out here. We gonna give them something to stand behind, though.
And I be trying to tell people that. They be like, man, you young niggas different. Only difference between these young boys now and back then was, back then they were trying to get some money and sell some dope. These boys, they own the dope and they trying to smoke something. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about violently. They trying to unalive something, man. That's the only difference. But young niggas always been wild, bro. Our brains ain't fully developed.
Hicks allegedly told Sawyer in 1983. Thus, the Miami Boys were born. Not just a gang, a network, almost militaristic in discipline. Hicks realized fast that Miami was saturated.
Miami was really flooded with a lot of drugs during that time.
Too much drugs.
You know, it wasn't no strong avenue to get rid of the drugs. You know, everybody had drugs on every corner. So we moved towards more up north, Georgia. So
they targeted Atlanta, which at the time was under-policed in terms of drug enforcement, and had a large untapped base of consumers. By 1985,
yeah, they had the red dog back then. They were getting their ass slammed through the concrete, through it. Nigga was goddamn, they were cautious about how they were doing their shit, though.
The first Miami Boys were landing in Atlanta, and they weren't subtle about it. Cadillacs with Florida plates, gold teeth flashing. It was like they brought South Beach to Bankhead overnight, said an Atlanta local who saw the first wave. The Miami Boys moved into the housing projects, Techwood Homes, Bowen Homes, Perry Homes, East Lake Meadows, systematically driving out local independent dealers through a mix of intimidation, violence, and superior product.
Had to come over here and smoke something because niggas in Atlanta just ain't going. I know they were having to put shit down in order to just come over here and just move work like that.
Boyer's blueprint was simple: pay the local shooters more than they'd ever seen, establish fortified drug houses, bring Miami discipline to Atlanta chaos. He was organized. ATL was not simple math, James Sawyer reportedly said to a partner during those days. We took it or we lit it up. With their arrival, incidents were popping up all over the city that involved the Miami Boys. Several happening in the Techwood projects, including a man named Ronald Baker being kidnapped, popped in the head, and dumped in Gwinnett County.
Crazy, man. Brought him to the north and dumped him. It had to be going down back then, like. That's what I'm saying. It wasn't no just coming up here and it was just gonna be sweet. They was finna have to lay something down to take over, man, because Atlanta is just not going. Care what you hear about.
Shootouts in Hurton Homes and a basic takeover of Egan Homes. By 1988, police said the crew controlled most drug sales in those areas. The Red Dogs.
Yeah, and Red Dog is one of the most notorious police squads.
What I tell you.
Yeah, their gang. One of the notorious police squads in
What I tell you.
which was a SWAT-like unit in Atlanta,
I told you. That motherfucking Red Dog, man, wasn't playing. They will kill you. They will unalive you, gang.
Every time we raided, another set popped up 2 buildings over. It was like whack-a-mole with Uzis. With the formation of the Miami Boys, and Sawyer orchestrated a structured and disciplined organization that extended its reach throughout Atlanta, establishing a dominant presence in the city's drug trade. Their downfall came after an extensive 18-month investigation, which culminated in multiple raids and the seizure of significant quantities of narcotics, firearms, and cash. In 1987, both men were arrested and later convicted on various charges, including engaging the continuing criminal enterprise and possession with intent to distribute cocaine.
Man, it always end this way, man. Jump out that porch, you get a lot of money, you can do your shit. You know what I'm saying? But it always anyway. I don't care who he is, man. I think the only one got away for real was Frank Matthews. You don't know what he is. He had to cut his whole family out for real, though. So that's kind of like being in the prison anyway.
This 18-month investigation revealed that narcotics transactions took place in 18 residences and buildings, including Hicks's home, which is known as the Palace.
Hicks received a 137-year sentence, while Sawyer was sentenced to 56 years in federal prison. When the doors clanged shut in early 1988, the government assumed the Miami Boys' empire would wither. It didn't. From inside the federal system, the 2 men turned captivity into a command post.
Boy, them boy wasn't playing no game, man. Them boy wasn't playing no game, man. Do y'all understand me? They wasn't playing no games, gang. Real hustle, like they was gonna get the cheese regardless. They ain't give a damn how y'all wanna look at it.
Steering Atlanta-based lieutenants through letters, coded phone calls, and lawyer visits that doubled as staff meetings. Hicks kept a rolling list of approved numbers, girlfriends, drywall company fronts, even a South Florida travel agency. Calls ended mid-sentence to avoid the computerized keyword scanner. Then the next call picked up where the last left off. Sawyer's paralegal course let him mark envelopes, privileged. Inside were step-by-step directives for lieutenants like Theophilus, Big Wheel Roker. Sawyer later wrote in his prison-penned memoir that a stamp in a swivel chair can move more dope than a Cadillac full of hitters. Atlanta remained a Miami Boys.
Money being made, I don't care where you at, man. I don't care where you at. Inside or outside, they getting the show, man. Dope getting sold, bro.
Stronghold, until the government, eager to clean up before the 1996 Olympics, flooded the city with new federal drug task forces and cracked down on public housing, which were the Miami Boys' command post.
It appears certain tonight that come 1996, Olympic athletes of the world will be living in the shadow of one of the nation's oldest housing projects.
While at the same time, the leadership from inside was cut off with an improved call monitoring system that flagged repeated references to GP, code for Greyhound package, which were out-of-state recruits. Hicks was moved to USP Leavenworth's Communication Management Unit, reducing his phone list to 10 numbers. Law enforcement would also put beat cops in abandoned apartments and crawl spaces to document how the crew maneuvered.
Them niggas were getting that shit off, man, by any means necessary, man. They had a bad boy. They created a whole task force for these folks. What was Red Dog before they got? I think Red Dog was doing that shit before Miami Boy got here, bro. But for them to be getting busy like that,
low-level arrests were made with the intentions of gaining valuable information about stash spots and payphones used for received orders from the higher-ups. Public Safety Commissioner George Napper also started the Red Dogs, which would hit the stash locations with overwhelming force, seizing cash and ledgers, while lookouts were still scrambling to warn sellers. Most street-level dealers were Florida imports who lacked.
And the Red Dog was stealing them boy money. Y'all can't tell me they wasn't putting that money in their pocket, man. I don't give a damn. I would. You would too if you was a Red Dog. You but all that money them boy getting unsolicited street money, y'all ain't gonna take none of it. You lying.
Local family ties. So once denied bond, they stayed jailed, thinning the Miami labor pool. Others accepted return to Florida plea bargains that barred them from Fulton County.
Can't come back to the city.
Manpower. When the Red Dog Task Force grabbed mid-level lieutenants, federal prosecutors added CCE kingpin enhancements that threatened life sentences unless those arrested snitched on higher-level players. These tactics cut the pipeline between Florida and Atlanta, weakening the Miami Boys' operation in the city. The final blow came with Atlanta's successful bid for the 1996 Summer Olympics turned.
Killed all that. When the Olympics came, they started tearing down Project left and right. Killed all them little operations, man. That's what the Red Dogs was formed for, if we thinking about it. They was formed to get y'all monkey ass out of there for the Olympics to come. For all them good old white tea people and all these people that mean something to somebody, man. These important people come to the city, because that's what really turned Atlanta up, if we just gonna be honest, and made it what it is today. You know what I'm saying? They had to get y'all ass out of there, though.
Urban renewal into a law enforcement tool. The city began tearing down many of the major projects in Atlanta, which the Miami boys used as fortresses with one way in and one way out. Remove the buildings and you remove the battlefield. By the time Centennial Olympic Park lit its torch, the once feared Sunshine State juggernaut had become a historical footnote, proof that when a city has an incentive to clean up the drugs and violence in an area, they can.
Facts.
They did what bullets never could quite accomplish: end the Miami boys' reign in the Peach State.
Damn. So they came up here and ran it up like that. Insane work. But hey, this is the Rare Reactions, man. And I had to take y'all, we had to go on a little history lesson. We had to take us a little history lesson, man. You know what I'm saying? And see how the Miami boys came to Atlanta, and if these stories are true. And from the looks of it, they look like this. What the fuck was going on, man? Damn. Atlanta ain't the same no more. I ain't doing that no more. Nah, no days over with, yeah. You know what I'm saying? But hey, it's the Rap Form, man. Rap Reactions. We at.
This the Rare Form, baby.